have been talking about the permeability and flow of groundwater in porous media, and we have been discussing about this problem that there is a porous media encased in a glass tube or a control volume, and then we were trying to analyze this problem as far as total head is concerned, pressure head is concerned, and the elevation head is concerned. And this is where there was some discussion which was going on regarding the computation of pressure head. So, if you consider point number 1, and those of you who have been following these videos carefully, in the last lecture I had asked one of the students who is attending this course physically to compute the pressure head at point 1 and 2, and there was something which was ambiguous, and let us discuss that in details today. So, as far as the elevation head is concerned, that is easy to obtain. So, if I say point elevation head, this is in meters, the pressure head is also in meters, and the total head, this is also in meters. So, point 1 was quite straightforward. We have already proven that between point 0 and 1 there is not going to be any flow because the total heads are same. Point 1, if I assume the elevation to be matching with the free water table, and suppose if I assume this as x, I am sure you must be realizing that the most of the confusion is because of selecting the datum. So, you have to add this x to this. A better way of doing this would be if I shift the datum at point 2, alright. So, the moment I shift datum to point 2, life becomes simple. At point number 2, the elevation head is 0, and what about the pressure head? This is exposed to the atmosphere. So, the pressure head is 0, total head will be 0. I will tell you what is the fallacy which we were discussing last time. At point number 1, the elevation head is L, the pressure head is L plus H. No, sorry, H, and hence the total head is L plus H. So, the hydraulic gradient would be, if I compute the hydraulic gradient, this will be delta H upon L, which is H1 minus H2 over L. This is nothing but L plus H over L. All right. The porous media is described by these parameters, that is porosity, void ratio, gamma d is known, SR is known, specific gravity is known, and so on. Now, the moment you shift point number 2 to, let us say, 2 prime, what is going to happen? So, this is where the trick is. I think you should be careful when you are writing these heads. If I shift to the point 2, what is going to happen? The elevation head at point number 2, so this is the second situation. When I have shifted, when the datum is at, let us say, AA, at point number 2, the elevation head is X. Now, what you have to understand is that this is directly exposed to the atmosphere because of its connection with the free water table. So, if you put a piezometer over here, it is not going to get, raised up to this point. This is not correct. Why? It is not correct. It cannot get lifted up to this point. What is the reason? Because you have a situation where the boundary condition says that this line is exposed to the atmosphere, and hence the total head at this point is going to be 0. Clear? Now, those of you who are confusing this with the situation which we have been dealing with in the past, when we were considering different type of layered system, and I had asked you to find out what is the state of stress at this point and find out the UW. Clear? And suppose the water table is up here. Now, in this case I can install a piezometric tube over here, and this is what is going to rise up to this point, and hence the head is going to be this much. So, what is the difference between this situation and this situation? Anybody in the class? And that is what you have to understand. Here the boundary conditions are different as compared to this. This is a continuum. I hope you are getting this point, which is not exposed to the atmosphere. So, if you install a piezometric tube over here, this will go and meet the phreatic surface. But in this case, at this point and this point, the atmospheric conditions prevail. So, it is a good idea to shift the datum to the bottommost point of the sample. It becomes easy to go ahead with the analysis. Is this part clear? This is the discrepancy which I wanted to discuss in the last lecture. Is this part clear? Another way of doing this would be, if you say the elevation head here is x, if I install a piezometer here, what is going to happen? This is going to drop to minus x, and hence the total head will be equal to 0. I think the better way would be to shift the datum and do the analysis. Is this part okay? Now, what I will do is, I will go ahead with the another situation. Yeah, so see what we have done is, we have established here that the pressure gradient across this sample is delta H upon L, and delta H upon L is nothing but H1 minus H2 upon L. H2 is 0 once you shift the datum over here. H1 is equal to L plus H divided by L is the hydraulic gradient. Now, this gradient is going to cause the flow through the porous media. So, this yellow arrow shows the flow through the porous media. Where? Point number 1, elevation head. See, if you fix the datum over here, so this is the elevation head at point 1, this is L. If you put the piezometric tube over here, it goes meets up to here, so L H plus, clear. So, pressure head is H at this point, elevation head is L, total head at this point is L plus H, fine. Have you understood the discrepancy? Okay. Have you understood this part and this part, the difference between these two? There is no boundary condition which is enforcing the atmospheric condition. Now, if I do engineering, how would you do surgery of the system? Suppose if I include a layer of a porous media over here, nowadays directional drilling is possible, you can drill laterally, alright. A good example is our Santa Cruz airstrip, where the lateral drilling is done to take all the pipelines under the active runway, and then this I can connect to the atmosphere, clear. So, what I have done, I have created the same situation as this over here. Now, at each and every point here, this is what is known as a filter. I have included a sand layer. In case of your gas hydrates, you are doing hydrofracturing and you are making this system more permeable. This is connected to the atmosphere, and hence the pore water pressure at this point is going to be 0. Then this situation is identical to this situation. It is okay? Any questions? Is this clear? So, this is what the engineered system is. I hope this point is clear. Now, let us do a bit more of extrapolation of the situation with which we are dealing here. So, what we have done is we have established the flow condition over here, and why flow is there? Because of delta H by L hydraulic gradient. Whatever drop in column between point 0 to 1 is going to take place, this is the discharge. Clear? Whatever flow is going to take place from point 1 to 2 because of the presence of porous media would be seepage or flow through porous media. Now, when the discharge or the flow is taking place through, or the seepage is taking place through porous media, what we do is we introduce the component Vs. This is what is known as the seepage velocity. I hope you understand the difference between this. So, this is your Q upon area of cross section, which is nothing but the capital V, and what is going to enter into this system is because of seepage, this will be the seepage velocity. Now, it so happens that seepage velocity is equal to discharge velocity upon porosity. How? Suppose if I consider a control volume, and this is in the third dimension like this. These are the pores, and rest of the portion is solid soil mass. So, these are the pores. Suppose if I say area of the pores is AV, air voids, and area of the solids is AS. So, the total area will be equal to AS plus AV. Is this okay? Now, imagine if the discharge is taking place in this direction, which is equal to Q, what is going to happen? The certain amount of water is going to enter through the pores, not the entire flux, because the solid portion is going to put lot of resistance in the flow, and that is what we have defined as the hydraulic conductivity K, coefficient of permeability. Is this okay? So, if I say that the Q is equal to AS and AS multiplied by V, is this okay? And this will be equal to area of pores multiplied by seepage velocity. This is the continuity. So, that means what I am saying is Vs equal to As upon Av multiplied by velocity V. Sorry, which one? On this side? Yeah, there is the yes, you are right. So, this is, no, I can deal with solids also, no? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, you are right. So, let it be like this. Actually, this is not correct. Why? What is total area? I have already filtered out the effect of the voids. Clear? So, whatever is remaining is the rest of the area, which is I am defining as AS. That is not a problem. No, you just imagine that the discharge is taking place. Now, there are two possibilities, either the entire fluid flows through the pores, which is equal to this, because we have differentiated between Vs and area of the volumes, correct. There is another possibility where I can say the discharge is taking place, which could be surfacial also, which is not entering through the pores. A microscopic view of looking at this would be, if I say that the distance between, a straight line of the pores is 1, 2. So, this is going to be your microscopic distance, which is the length of the pores. What is the physical length of the sample? The physical length of the sample is going to be L. V is the velocity through the bulk area, you are right, So, this is nothing but the solids. So, you are right. So, what I can do is I can do two things, either I can say that AS will be equal to A minus AV. Is this okay? The pore volumes are going to be extremely small. So, I can say that AS is different and A minus AV I am defining as AS, where A is the total area of cross section and the volume of the voids. It is up to you. So, if you solve this equity, what you will find is that this becomes this term. Now, what it indicates is that the seepage velocity is always greater than the discharge velocity. Which one is faster? The water molecule has to travel from one point to another point, either in the microscopic length or in the macroscopic length. So, L will be the macroscopic length. To maintain the continuity. Now, this path is going to be tortuous. That means, this path is not going to be straight line, this path is going to be something of this sort, alright. So, this is 1 and 2, which I have represented here as 1 and 2. However, the linear dimension is straight. So, imagine if the discharge is taking place through point 1 and 2, the seepage is going to take place through 1 and 2, but to maintain the equity or the continuity, the time is same, the discharge in the form of seepage is going to be same as the discharge in the form of the discharge, and hence this is what comes out to be from this analysis. See, when the water is entering from 1 to 2, there are two possibilities, either the water moves through the macroscopic length, which is the physical dimension of the sample, or through the interstices of the soil sample, which are quite tortuous in nature. That means, in the same time, if the same distance is to be covered, the velocity through this is going to be more than velocity through this. What it indicates is that the velocity of flow of water is going to be lesser when you have macroscopic length, but when the discharge is taking place through the microscopic length, which is the tortuosity, the seepage velocity is going to be higher than the discharge velocity. Normally, how would you maintain the continuity? Suppose if I give you a cylindrical sample, and if I say that the Q is moving from here and Q is coming out, there is no loss of fluid, clear? Imagine like this. So, this is what actually we are trying to analyze. This is another attribute of the porous media, which we are going to use over here. So, when I say the flow has initiated because of the hydraulic gradient, there is going to be a velocity component Vs. So, V is known, capital V, if porosity is known, Vs is known, and you can show how Vs is changing with respect to V. Now, because of the virtue of this porosity, as I said, Vs is going to be more than capital V, the discharge. So, this is what we have to include over here. Is this part okay? Now, if you go back to this equation where the Darcy's law says, Darcy's law is valid for discharge velocity. So, we say that discharge velocity is proportional to hydraulic gradient, correct? Or this is equal to K into I. What is K? Coefficient of permeability. What is coefficient of permeability? This is the resistance offered by the porous media to the flow of fluid. Is this okay? The units are in centimeter per second. So, there are two definitions which are prevalent in this direction. in this context, not direction. The one definition is, how do we define permeability? The permeability is defined as the rate of flow of water under laminar conditions through a unit cross section cross sectional area of a porous medium under a unit hydraulic gradient is I and standard temperature conditions. So, basically permeability is the rate of flow of water under laminar flow conditions through a unit cross sectional area of a porous media under a unit hydraulic gradient and standard temperature conditions. That means, if I put I equal to 1, the discharge velocity is equal to k. Now, most of the time what is done is that there is a relationship between coefficient of hydraulic conductivity and, I think last time I told you to stick to small k because I wanted to preserve capital K for some other notation. So, this is all right. This capital K is known as intrinsic permeability. All right. Just concentrate on the board for a minute, try to understand what is this concept which I am introducing over here. The hydraulic conductivity K is, let us say, two variables, A multiplied by B. Capital K depicts the porous media. This is the fundamental characteristic of the porous media, and that is why we call this as intrinsic permeability. Intrinsic means fundamental nature, fundamental behavior. It is not going to change. However, B term, so this is the PM, and what is B? B is the fluid. Clear? In other words, hydraulic conductivity or coefficient of permeability is a sort of an interaction of porous media with a fluid. Mathematical definition would be, this is how you define the interaction between solid porous media and the fluid. Clear? So, the mapping is between the material, porous media and the fluid. What is rho into G? Density, unit weight, clear, divided by mu, viscosity of the fluid. So, attributes of the fluid, attribute of the porous media, conductivity, clear. I hope now you can understand easily what I have to determine, not capital K. I should be determining, sorry, not small k, I should be determining capital K, because this is what is corresponding to a porous system. Fluid can be anything. It could be water, it could be contaminated water, it could be hydrocarbon, it could be gases, it could be bacterial suspension, whatever. Clear? So, this is what, please remember. Outside mean okay, yeah. So, you are talking about this portion. That means there is no, you are right. So, there is no porous media over here. This is the discharge. this is the seepage, this is again the discharge, you are right. In this which portion? In this portion? In this portion viscosity is not so important because we are not talking about the seepage taking place through the porous media. This is the discharge only. So, suppose if you remember last time we had derived some expression following head test. So, as the time passes by, what is going to happen? This column is going to decrease, is it not? So, H is decreasing and then we had taken is minus del H over del T. So, this is a free discharge, this is the seepage, that is the difference. And seepage is, 1 minute, seepage is attributed to all these characteristics. That is it. We are not interested in this. This is not a, this is a discharge, but there is no other media through which the water or the fluid is migrating through. Viscosity will come when you are talking about the inertial forces and the viscous forces. So, the model which we are talking about here, imagine some part of the water wants to enter through the pores, clear, and there itself the viscosity is through the walls of the soils, walls of the porous media in the form of, let us say, the soil grains, and then there is a tube which is allowing water to flow through. So, the viscosity of the fluid and the inertial forces which are caused because of the porous media itself. So, this becomes a combination of the two. So, what I have done is starting from a simple situation like, you remember this reservoir we took and we proved that the state of total pressure at this point and this point is same, and hence I is 0. What is I? I think this is another interpretation to answer your question. What is I? Hydraulic gradient. Hydraulic gradient is acting across the porous media, because this is how you have defined this. So, you said I is equal to delta H upon L. If I use the same concept over here, hydraulic gradient between this point and this point is going to be 0, because total head at this point and this point is 0. Agreed? So, there is no hydraulic gradient acting between these 2 points. There is another logic. Same is valid over here also. This is exposed to environment, this is exposed to environment. So, this point is just sitting on the surface, let us say. It will be inside the boundary within the sample. Outside the tube means on this side, somewhere here, here, outside this point means here, the atmospheric point. At this point, you tell me what will be the head difference between this and this? 0. Why? Simple philosophy, both the points are atmospheric, this is also atmospheric, connected to the atmosphere through the water. Because we just proved this, at this point the pressure head is minus x and the elevation head is plus x. Elevation head is plus x and pressure head is minus x. So, the total head is 0, and this also gets proven by the fact if I shift the datum over here, the elevation goes, this becomes atmospheric point itself, total head is 0 at this point, that is it. Yes, tube is open from the top. So, your concept of 1 atmosphere is applicable at every point, but that becomes a base pressure. So, we are neglecting it. I think this is what you are trying to hint at. Elevation at this point and elevation at this point is same. Piezometric tube kept over here, water will not rise up to any point, water will not rise up to any point over here also, 0, total head is 0. That is what I told you. So, to come out of this discrepancy would be you shift the datum itself, otherwise you will have to understand like this, elevation is positive as x, and if you put a piezometric tube, it goes down by negative x. So, a better way of doing this would be you shift the datum to the bottommost point of the sample, that is it. Open ended, alright, this is also open ended. So, at the most what you can do is when you say total head, you just add 1 atmospheric over here and 1 atmospheric you add over here also. There are 2 ways of doing this. Elevation I can obtain insert piezometer here, it will not going to go up to this point. This is what the mistake was in the last discussion. So, the moment you put piezometer over here, this is going to drop down to this point because atmospheric surface is there. This point is connected to the nearest atmospheric point. This is one logic. Second logic is you simply shift datum and nullify the effects, whatever suits you. What is the total pressure at point? At 1, compute it. So, x plus L plus H is the elevation point, no, H will not come, x plus L with the elevation head, and this much is the pressure head acting at this point. So, H plus L plus X is the total head at this point. Now, what you are doing is you are taking the effect of 2 also, that is why it is coming over here. So, then you compute the total head over here. So, at this point the elevation head is going to be 2, and that is why I am telling you the better thing is to draw the datum over here so that you do not get involved into all these discussions. Datum you can change as per your convenience, it will not change because I discussed this thing. So, elevation is plus x, minus x is energy, total head is 0, L plus x plus H. So, what x is going to do? So, that means there is a fallacy. So, now if you want to straighten it, okay, let us take this example problem. I think you will also get the answer, Chaparia, you will also get the answer to this. So, let us analyze this system by assuming x over here, clear? At point 1, the elevation head is x plus L and pressure head is H, is this okay? Correct? Point number 2, at this point elevation head is x and what is the pressure head? Technically, why? It's connected to the atmosphere. So, there is no pressure associated with this. So, the pressure head at this point is truly speaking 0, and that is what I said, a better way is you just take the datum over here and compute. Now, I have shown you technically. So, what happens? The total head becomes x plus H plus L, and this is x. What is going to cause the hydraulic gradient? This minus this. This is the correct logic. Piezometric tubes normally do not fall. So, the fundamental mistake, just understand why I am discussing this point, because this guy said last time, if you put the piezometric tube, he said this plus this is going to be the pore pressure over here, and now I am proving that this is not correct. Tensiometer is done only for partially saturated soils, not for saturated soils. So, here you are assuming that this porous media has achieved a steady state, saturation has become 1, clear, and then you are doing this analysis. What is the difference between this situation and this situation? You remember we were talking about multi-layered system, and I was asking you to find out sigma UW and sigma prime at this point, and using this concept he said that the pore pressure is going to be this much, which is not correct here because the boundary conditions are different. This is atmospheric and this is not atmospheric. Are you getting this point? So, then I gave you a logic that if I put a drainage layer over here, insert some granular medium and connect it to the atmosphere, now at this point also what is going to happen? Your atmospheric conditions are going to occur, hence this situation is similar to this situation. So, free flow is taking place here, and by virtue of continuity, once the levels drop because of the porosity and permeability of this medium, the water enters into it, and that is what we are analyzing in the form of seepage. Yeah, but very coarse particles are also going to have some porosity and permeability and void ratio and gamma d, please remember, and they are going to cause resistance to the flow, clear. So, permeability is nothing but sort of a resistance which is being offered by the porous media towards the flow of the fluid. So, even if there are 10 particles in a suspension, there will be some resistance because of the particles present in the slurry even. So, your question is correct. I can replace this porous media by a slurry also. So, what happens in the wells when you extract petroleum? this is a soil slurry. So, this could be a slurry, very dense slurry of some porosity and some gamma d. You remember your Stokes law which you did in particle size distribution. So, I might be having a slurry through which the gases are passing, through which the water is passing, and I want to find out what is the flow. So, your concept is that if you have sands, still all this is valid, K is valid, seepage is valid, is okay. This is a glass tube and I am filling up the sample over here. This is the soil sample, porous media. This is your point number 1, this is your point number 2, clear, and this is kept in the water bath. Come out of all confusions, simplify things, treat your, this is H water table, this is the water level here, and the length of the sample is L. Shift the datum to this point, number 1, to get rid of all these confusions. So, this becomes my datum. Elevation head at point 1 is known. What you want is pressure head. How would you obtain the hydrostatic pressure head over it? If you put the piezometer here, this will go up to this height, clear. So, that means the piezometric head at point 1 is H. The piezometric head at point 1 is going to be rising up to the height H to equilibrate with the atmospheric conditions. At this point, now the elevation head has become 0. What is the pressure head? Because this itself is atmosphere, is 0, finished. Total head at this point is 0. Total head at this point is going to be L plus H. Coming back to your question, head across this and this is L plus H, the gradient is L plus H upon L, which is going to cause the flow into the sample, otherwise this is free discharge. This is also free discharge, agreed? Is this part clear? By virtue of being a porous media, the void ratio, density, soil property, specific gravity all are defined. What you are ensuring is this is a steady state and hence the sample is fully saturated. If sample is not saturated, then the problems will occur. We always talk in terms of meters of the pressure head. If you remember, the pressure head at this point is the height of the piezometric rise in water. So, this is going to be H, clear?
Go from point 2 and we have to find the pressure head at point 1.
So, suppose if I ask you a question, find out the state of total pressure at this point, point number 3. Now, how will you do this? That will explain to you everything. Because now this is not exposed to that environment at any side, clear? Elevation is known, but the piezometric head is not known at this point. Have you understood this point? Now, this is in the free domain of the porous media. It is not exposed to the atmosphere from any side. Here point 1 was exposed, point 2 was exposed to the atmosphere. It's okay? So, just hold on.
Sir,
I think
without piezometer we can't find
without
piezometer can't
that's
we
a
find
note, that's a way to understand that what is the piezometric head at a point. How did you do in this stratified deposits? So, you are trying to put a piezometric tube over here and then this is the height of the water column which is matching with the phreatic surface and this was the total pore water pressure. So, this pressure head which we are finding out is nothing but a sort of a pore water pressure, because if I multiply this by gamma W, this becomes pore water pressure at this point, this becomes pore water pressure at this point. Pore water pressure at this point is not known, so that we have to compute. Now, suppose now I am going to play with the boundary conditions. So, please have a close look at what I am going to discuss. This is my tube and this is the porous media, fine. Now, what I will do is I will connect it to a water bath. Is this okay? So, all those who are asking this question of the surface being exposed to the atmosphere, I think now you are realizing something what I have done. Have I done something substantially different, or is the same thing what I have been discussing until now? Then you have understood what I am going to talk about. It does not matter where I connect this point to. So, what I am basically doing is, this is the head difference between the two water levels, and the logic says that the hydraulic gradient is the one between the difference of the energy state between the two surfaces, and that is what is going to cause the flow. Suppose if I lower it down a bit, what is going to happen? The discharge is going to take place from 1 to 2. The moment I have lifted it up, what is going to happen? Discharge is going to take place from 2 to 1. Is this point clear? Simple mechanics. Have you understood this? I can change the flow direction through the porous media just by manipulating the H. H could be positive, H could be negative. So, if I bring it down and if I keep this cistern, or what you call it as a reservoir somewhere here, what is going to happen? Now, the delta of the free water surface and this free water surface is going to cause the discharge to take place. Let us prove it. You can fix the datum somewhere, work it out. Now, when you go back today, please do this with different datums. You know the total energy here, you know the total energy here, and you can prove that the discharge is going to take place from 2 to 1. Is this part okay? Have you understood this? Now, suppose if I ask you to draw the free body diagram of this element, there is another manipulation. First, understand the manipulations, different type of manipulations which I can do. I can replace this porous media by a multi-layered system. Agreed? That means I can say this system has permeability K1, this has K2. In earlier case, you must have realized that the dissipation of the hydraulic gradient is going to take place between 1 and 2, and that was linear. Now, because of introduction of K2 and K1, what I have done? I have manipulated the system much more. I am tending towards more natural processes, and let me complicate it further. K1 with porosity E1, porosity E2, E1, E2, gamma D1, gamma D2, G1, G2. What else nature offers you? Same thing. So, what I have created? I have created a multi-layered system, 2-layered system, where now you are going to be in a difficulty, but it is simple. Now, what I can do is this 1 and 2 I can replace with point number 3, and I can still go ahead with the same thing. What I require is one equation of continuity. That means this Q is going to be the same as this Q is going to be the same as the Q which comes out. That is it. In other words, if my Q remains same, I will say K1 multiplied by H1 minus H2 over L12. This will be equal to K2 H2 minus H3. Is this correct? L32. And area of cross section. So, area of cross section you multiply. Fortunately, the area of cross section remains same, so that does not come to picture. Another manipulation, what I can do? I can reduce the area of cross sections. So, I can create a sample like this, the first layer, and then second sample is sitting like this. Okay. So, this is your first sample, this is your second sample, or a multi-layered sample, whatever. Is the concept clear? As far as the total head, pressure heads are concerned, they remain same. Only thing is, now you are introducing a point at which the state of energy is not known, which can be solved by using the continuity principle. Yeah, so this Q is nothing but your A into V, alright. So, this V is here and this V is here also. That is it. Is this okay? Concept clear? Look at the pressure gradient, that is important. So, at this point and this point the pressure gradient was straight line earlier. Now, what has happened? The slope has got changed. Why? Because you introduce another point, another property here. So, earlier this was like this, now who knows, it might have become like this. And you simply create a datum over here. Now, you will not be confused at all. I hope all this is gone. It is the same thing. In the previous case, what did I do? I kept, how does it matter whether you are keeping it in a tube connected to this or whether this whole thing is inside a water bath? It does not matter. If you are putting vacuum over here, so this it does not matter, keep the datum as it is. Pressure head at this point will become minus of your value of vacuum which you are applying. That is it. Is this okay? So, if this point is being sucked with a suction pump, what will be the pressure at this point? Minus that value. So, what happens to the hydraulic gradient? This is a good question. So, if you suck something, what happens? Now, he is getting realization of what we are discussing. The discharge increases. So, minus of this thing and this minus of this thing, that means the hydraulic gradient is going to become higher. Clear? So, V is proportional to I. So, that means the movement of the fluid through this porous system will get enhanced. Exactly the same thing is done in recovery of tellem. So, the point is simple. If I have to suck most of the hydrocarbons from the oil wells, what should I do? Apply negative pressure. Everything will come automatically.
The same principle is used when we want to extract methane gas hydrates. So, these are found beneath the ocean bed. Because of water column, there will be very high pore pressure or water pressure will be there, and if you want to extract them, we want to reduce the pressure. So that we will drill a borehole, and in less pressure, lower pressure we will be applying through the well bore, and a pressure gradient will be generated in the hydrate bearing strata, which causes dissociation of hydrates, and in the well bore along with the methane gas we will be collecting pure water also. So altogether what we are doing is, in the bearing strata we are generating a head difference,
gradient difference. So, that means read about on the net depressurization for hydrocarbon extraction, and there are good videos also. I think most of you will get this idea of what negative pressure does in the wells. So, negative pressure is similar to the cold drink bottles. When you suck cold drink, what happens? Why everything comes up in the straw? Is a suction, positive pressure, clear? Suction. So, this is what actually I am applying here to lift the things, lift the fluids. Now, it is up to you, it is over to mechanical engineers to devise a system which can lift the petroleum from a depth of, let us say, a kilometer, 1000 meter, 2000 meter deep, 3000 meter deep. So, that the system they have to devise. Is okay? Okay. So, now let us manipulate this a bit more. Direction of flow is clear to all of you. This head is causing everything to happen. Now, suppose if I draw the free body diagram, draw it. How many forces are acting? Okay, let's do it together. So, is there something acting from the top? How much is that? There is a sample. What is the total head at point 1? H, total head. This H is not directly connected to point 1. There is a dampener in between, which is soil mass. Clear? So, that means at this point elevation head is known L. If you are putting the datum head over here, at this point the pressure head is Z. So, total is L plus Z into gamma W into A. Is this part clear? What is happening here? Quick. At this point, what is the elevation head? 0. What is the pressure head? If you connect this to the piezometric column, what is going to happen? L plus Z plus H. This surface is connected to the atmosphere here. So, this is L plus Z plus H gamma W into A. What is the other force which is acting on this element? Very good, excellent. So, what is the weight component? Sorry? Yes. So, weight will be equal to L, very good, L, what gamma? What type of gamma? Sorry? Gamma dry. The whole thing is put in a steady state condition. How can this be dry? Yes, do not do these mistakes. These are basics, alright. So, gamma saturated and A, nice. Are you happy with this? What is the other force which is going to act on this element? I said something, if I raise this and if I bring it down, I can modulate something. Yes, Gupta. Yes, you are right. Not gradient, force. So, that means, yes, he is right. Have you understood? Have you ever seen a dashpot? Okay, if you go to the hospitals, you must have seen these salines. So, what do? They put it on a stand. If you are lying on a bed over here, clear? So, what you do normally, they put a saline here, correct? This is the same situation. Now, depending upon the rheology, what normally sisters will do, they will modulate the height of the saline. So, somewhere they will fix it. If it is a small kid, they can't put it 1 meter high. Why? Imagine the hydraulic head. Now we are going to see what is going to happen. We are going to model that thing. Is this okay? So, if I lower it down and bring it up, I can create a force which is going to act on the system. You are right, Gupta. So, this is your seepage force. Take where the seepage force is acting? What is the plane on which the seepage force is acting? You have to look at the figure. Wherever your datum is at this point. Why? Because the entire pressure head and elevation head is acting at this point. Clear? So, truly speaking, what is happening? You have 1, 2, 3 forces and they are being balanced by F. And this is what is known as seepage force. Now, so this is the seepage force. That video clipping was regarding what? Quicksand. So, we are going to create quicksand condition. How? So, little bit more of understanding for all of you, let us put it in components. Let us filter out the seepage force in the form of hydraulic gradient. So, what I can do is I can say L plus Z into gamma W A, of course weight is acting, and this becomes L plus Z gamma WA plus, if I write like this, is there any problem? What I have done? I have filtered out the effect of the hydraulic gradient. H was the driving force which is causing seepage to occur from point number 2 to 1, because this is how the flow is going to take place. So, the flow is now taking place from 2 to 1, positive gradient is here, less gradient is here, alright. So, suppose if I write this expression, F is equal to, now this is what is known as seepage force. Normally we define seepage force per unit volume. Now, if I do per unit volume, what is going to happen? This will become A into L, and this can be written as I into gamma W. So, I into gamma W is the seepage force which is acting on the system, clear. The whole situation could be something like, you know, this is a dam made up of concrete or earth, and for me there is no difference between this system and this system. Is this okay? The moment I have created H over here, rains might do it in the due course of time. What has happened? There is a H which got created over here. Look at the base, what is going to happen? I into gamma W per unit volume is acting here. Have you understood the consequence of this? I will come to that, do not worry. First let us talk about the seepage. There is a more big culprit, no. Seepage is, listen, but what I should be worrying about is the seepage forces. So, this is what I am trying to explain right now. We will take care of that part, do not worry. So, what I am trying to do is, this situation is a simplified model to do the analysis. This is out of the way, I discussed something, and this is the real life situation which forces us to study what is the influence of hydraulic gradient on the stability of the structures. Is this part clear? And what we have done systematically is, we have shown that this is the hydraulic gradient which is the seepage force per unit volume. Now, rest is all simple mechanics, you can solve this. I will skip few steps and try to solve this function. I do not remember what it should be. If you can write it quickly, it saves some of my time. So, this will be equal to L gamma submerged minus H gamma W into A. Try to show this. This is the seepage force. What is F upon A? Stress, clear? And suppose if I say that this is effective stress, why? H gamma W is what? Pore pressures. So, L gamma submerged minus pore pressure is nothing but the effective stress, and if I put a condition that this tends to 0, this is nothing but your sand boiling. Now, if you simplify this, what you will be getting? Can you do it quickly? I comes out to be, what is I? H upon L. We define this as critical. This will be equal to G minus 1 over 1 plus E. Try to prove this. Is this correct? Jasmine, is this equation correct? You must be remembering. Is this okay, Benny? So, you try to prove that I H upon L critical will be G minus 1 over 1 plus E. what it indicates is a soil is going to boil under hydraulic gradients, and at that time the hydraulic gradient is this, which is equal to the specific gravity minus 1 over 1 plus void ratio. Have you understood the whole kahani or not? So, you were talking about the weight. What you have to do is F will be equal to what? F plus this equal to this plus this. A better way of defining this would be this minus this is equal to F. Mathematically they are same, is same as the H, correct. H is causing the entire story. So, what is H? This H. This is the incremental pressure. Now, do an exercise. Suppose H tends to 0. What is the meaning of this? This water column matches with this water column, and try to see what happens. So, what is your intuitive feeling? If H tends to 0, what is going to happen? Hydraulic gradient is going to be 0. That is it. So, in other words, this is the response of the porous media to the external gradients, hydraulic gradients.